What is the most expensive thing in a movie set? Actors, equipment, lighting. Hello, I am Andre Correa, and this is Andre Correa Now, a show about the art of filmmaking, the craft behind it, and the technologies that make it all possible. In this episode, we are going to be talking about time. So one of the things you want to do is you want to prepare, and then be willing to adapt to changing circumstances. Oftentimes on a movie set, things will not go your way, and if you stay too rigid to the original plan, that can actually break you. You know, sometimes you have a script that you worked on, and then last minute you find out that a prop is not going to be able to move, and you're going to have to do everything in a garage. Or some other times, you may lose a location last minute or may lose an actor. If you were so tied down to that particular time frame of shooting, you may have to, go with the punches and maybe kill off a part or maybe give that to a different actor. These are things that only you can say if you're willing to do it because it's your project. But ultimately, you have to be willing to adapt to these circumstances if they happen. I know it's not sexy, I know it's not fun, but you have to do your homework. And if you don't, it will show. It will show because the day that you go shoot, you're not gonna be ready, you're not gonna have shot lists, you're not gonna have anything. And trust me, I know you're thinking, but Andre, I am an amazing filmmaker. I don't need shot lists. I'm gonna be the next Spielberg. Guess what? You need a fucking shot list. I'm telling you that you do. And you also need pre-visualization, because otherwise you're just gonna get into a set, you're gonna get into arguments with people, you're gonna be talking about the things you wanna do, they're not gonna get it because they're not inside your head, and then time is gonna go by. So do your homework, do your pre-visualization, do your shot list. Trust me, the day will go much faster. Your DP is gonna love you for it, and so is your AD. Just like in a cell phone plan, prepaying for time is a lot cheaper than paying during the day of the set. Here's an example. Back when I did my first short film, we wanted to do a fight scene that was gonna be a one-taker. Now, in theory, for a beginner, you may think that, oh wow, that's gonna be a lot faster. But in reality, it isn't. Because usually these one-takers take months and months and hours of rehearsing and preparation. So the way to prepay for time, again, is the prepare portion of what I already talked about, but also having the ability to ask for more time on set. So if you think your day, or if you think a shot or scene is gonna take a day to shoot, budget for a day and a half or 2 days. Trust me, that would be cheaper than you having to go back to that location later on and try to do reshoots, try to get your cast back, try to get your crew back, or location back for that matter. Oftentimes locations and props are only available for a limited amount of time. If you're not able to, go back there and redo it, that can be very expensive, or you might end up with a scene that you just don't like. The other thing that prepaying for time allows you to do is to fail. You're able to make mistakes, and sometimes mistakes are gonna be wonderful things for your film. Some of the best, most iconic and amazing scenes are mistakes. They weren't planned, they just happen. And when you have time on your side, you allow yourself to be able to fail and to experiment, and that's great. One of the things that I learned directing is that sometimes when you're running out of time, you actually want to slow down. And what I mean by that is rushing is very apparent on footage. You can see it on the faces of the actors. You can see that the quality of the light is not as good. So if you have a choice, you almost rather get the shots the way you want to, spend time with your actors, spend time with your lighting, make sure everything looks the way you want to, and then go home and quit for the day so you can come back and fight again. I think that that was one of the biggest, most valuable things I did when I was shooting Help Wanted. When I first started production, it was a disaster and nothing really worked. And I could have gone on, I could have kept fighting and kept shooting with that crew and being rushed. But what I did instead is I actually stopped production and reevaluated my whole preparation and my whole plan and went back 4 months later, and that's when we actually shot the movie. So the original footage from Help Wanted was actually never used and never shown. We didn't use it at all. But I did go back months later and then reshoot. And that was perhaps the biggest pivotal moment. I see a lot of young filmmakers that have projects that they never finished or they never release because they don't like them. And oftentimes that happens because they don't prepare for time, they don't like what they have, and ultimately they just give up. But you don't have to do that. You have the power as a director, as a producer, as an independent filmmaker to say, you know what, this is not what I want. Let me stop here. Let me go back to the drawing board and let me come back with a plan. That's gonna be way more helpful than trying to push through the day. Actually, before we run out of time, would you mind? Thanks. Look, I'm no physicist, but I can promise you the time runs faster on set. You get there about 6 in the morning, you start talking, you start filming, you start acting or directing, and before you know it, it's 10 p.m. and time to go. Although that is an awesome feeling, you also have to be aware of it because it can bite you in the ass. This is how people don't make their days, you fall behind, and things get expensive really fast. So I know it's not very much of a popular position, but the AD, the guy who keeps track of time on a movie set, is very valuable because, you know, in every hour, every half hour, or whatever, they can say, hey, we need to be here, we need to be there. And even though as a director and an actor, I hate them, but I also love them because they can certainly save your butt in the long run. So be nice to your ADs. I have always been a fan of the Back to the Future franchise. Filming with Doc Brown's Time Machine is as cool as it looks. And this was made possible due to the generosity of Bill and Patrick Shea, a father and son team who happens to own the most amazing collection I have ever seen. And in addition to being so welcoming to my team and I, they are also avid supporters of the Michael J. Fox Foundation, a nonprofit organization dedicated to finding a cure for Parkinson's disease. You can learn more about the Michael J. Fox Foundation by going to www.michaeljfox.org. Links in the descriptions below. So just like any other filmmaker, our time in this location is running out. So I just want to say thank you for watching, and I am Under Korea, and this is Under Korea Now, and I'll see you next time.